G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. How are we all doing today? It is a lot colder than I anticipated. My hands are cold. I'm wearing my summer gloves and it's getting on my jacket as well, because this jacket, it just absorbs all the wind because of the way that its sleeves are. And it's very cold on my lower and upper back, so it is what it is. We made the bed, we're laying in it now. How are we all, ladies and gents? If you like me content, leave a like, comment down below, because you know I'll get back to you. And of course, subscribe if you enjoy me content. And without further ado, let's get into this video. I do have one that you'll notice as a rider, and if you're not riding yet, you will develop, and that's that all riders, ladies and gents, almost get the sixth sense when you're riding on the road. What do I mean by that? When you're riding, you're a lot more aware of everything than if you're in a car, okay? Now, when you're in a car, you can see things, your lefts, your rights and all that, right? You know where things are, but you don't really get the feeling as much. When you're on a bike, your feelings and your senses are so much more heightened. So you're looking behind you when you stopped at a set of lights, you're looking beside you, you're looking around, you're noticing the things in the corners, you're noticing the median strips, the side streets and all that good stuff, because you have to as a bike rider, unfortunately, because guess what? If you don't do it, you might end up under a truck or in front of a car and over the bonnet or something, and well, we don't want that for anybody, because guess what? It's just a bad time. Now, I've never experienced going over the bonnet of a car, but I can imagine it wouldn't be great, and I don't really plan on finding out the hard way either, because some things are best just, you know, not discovered firsthand. I'd rather just watch a YouTube video and listen to someone's story than go, you know what, that needs to be experienced by myself. No, I'm okay, thank you very much. But finally, this motovlog can get on the move again, because we've been at this light for too long. So now, when you're riding in a straight line, you tend to realize there's a lot more to it than just what's happening. So when you're riding in a straight line, there's a lot more factors, okay? Such as you get the cars behind you, beside you. Old mate's having a bad time or there, I don't know. I would help him, but if it's mechanical things, I have no idea about mechanical faults. I'm sorry, I can't help there. Maybe he's just on the phone, who knows. If he had looked and I gave him a thumbs up and he went, nah, I would have helped him. But he didn't pay attention, so unfortunate. But yeah, so when you go in Australia, there's more factors than just straight line car go follow, alright? You really start realizing, is this car going to change lanes? Am I in the blind spot? If I'm in this lane here, which would be your left lane in America, is any car going to be turning from the median strip? And if so, should I stay in lane position 3, or should I move over to lane position 1? Or should I be mellow and sit in lane position 2? Now, I don't recommend lane position 2 all the time. I ride in it a lot, but you can sort of tell these days. But if you start noticing oil, guess what? You're not going to be sitting in either that lane at all, or you're going to be sitting where I am now, because oil from cars typically doesn't fall where the tires go. So it's going to usually be in the middle of the lane, so that lane position 2 is usually where the oil is. So if you notice it, guess what? You're probably not going to ride there. But once again, another thing that comes with riding, it's just another factor that you don't think about as much in a car, because you see oil on a road, well, you're going over the oil, you're not driving through the oil, you know what I mean? Whereas when you're on a bike, you sort of have to be heightened awareness, because you can ride through the oil, and when your tires are slippery, either your brakes don't work, or your tire will just go, whoa, and you'll either fishtail and crash, or you'll just have a really big, oh shit moment. And I assure you that it's not the best. I did watch a guy test riding an Indian Scout Bobber, and he took the first corner out of the dealership. Now, the excess insurance fees for these dealerships is a lot of money, so it's going to suck, because even though it wasn't his fault, it's still considered your fault. But he took the first corner out of the dealership and hit a patch of oil in the middle of the road. Now, it could be oil, it could be diesel, anything on the ground, man, is going to make you slip, even if it's water. There was a video going around Instagram, you might have seen, of a biker in America banging it on the freeway, and he hit a patch of water, and he full-on fishtailed it. Now, that's pretty much what happens if you hit oil, and the oil doesn't come off as quickly as water does. So it's best if you can avoid the damn thing, all right? It's just, ugh, the whole time. But this is one of the things you notice as you're riding, all right? Now, when you're driving, you don't notice it as much, because, like I said, you're going sort of over where the oil is. I'm probably not going to make this set of lights. I mean, I've been wrong before. Let's just get in there. Yep, still yellow when I pass the line, baby. I can't see. It's so bright. Now, I don't know if the ND filter's going to notice this, but because I got a pretty light one on because it's dark, but it's so bright in my eyes. There's another company I found that does aftermarket visors for the Ruroc helmet. I might buy one, because I've got the tinting pin lock, but they do the whole tinting visor, which is significantly better than the pin lock, because it doesn't have to go through the layer of plastic first. So maybe I'll invest in one of those. They're like 160 bucks. If I find them any good, maybe I'll see if I can get a sponsorship with them, because that'd be a fun time. But until then, I will be blinded by the light, because on my way home I get the sun, and if I go to work in the morning, I get the sun but I very rarely have to work in the morning, so that doesn't matter. Anyway, now, one thing you're going to notice as well when you're riding is when you're doing lane filtering, okay? Now, this one is when that superpower sort of really hits in overdrive. If you're lane filtering on a freeway or on another road, see, like this thing I can barely see, but even then you still see, I just move over by instinct. But when you're lane filtering on a freeway or on a busy traffic road, you sort of get the inkling when something's wrong, right? You get those premonitions when something's about to go. So someone's about to brake, slam them on, someone indicates, someone doesn't indicate and turns. Well, you know, you can sort of predict them. And as annoying as it is, I'd much rather have an annoying oh shit moment than an oh shit bang moment, you know what I mean? Because unfortunately, whilst riding, these are just the harsh realities that we face because people don't pay attention. And then they hit you with the, oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. And you're like, shut up, that's not an excuse. If I drive down the road and I hit a small child and just say, sorry, I didn't see you there, darling, guess what? It's still my fucking fault, isn't it? Oh, I don't get it. I've never, so far, you know, touch wood or whatever the hell your superstition is, nearly hit a biker when I'm driving because I'm usually pretty aware. I nearly hit cars, but that's due to my youth when I was driving at the time. Lately it's been okay, but never nearly hit a biker, okay? So I don't understand. Bikes are pretty easy to see. Now I ride, so I probably look out for bikers more than the average person because it's typically what happens. When you ride bikes, you start noticing them more because when you're on a bike, you notice a biker, you wave at them, you give them the old how do you do. But when you're driving and you don't ride, you don't notice the people as much because you're just not looking for them. So I think everyone should get their bike license. But yeah, dude, so when you're filtering, you get to really notice all these little extra things, okay? And I'm a big fan of that because when you notice, you start realizing these things. It's a pretty cool thing to realize. Like I know when I was doing a stint down the freeway, I was filtering and people had a last minute lane change. And if I wasn't a experienced rider, I probably would have crashed into the back of them because you need to have to do the safety stop with the lane, like with engine braking. It wasn't just a safety, like emergency brake. Because if you do emergency braking without the downshifting and whatnot, and you engine brake, you're probably not stopping as quickly in certain instances, okay? And this would have been one of them. It's not a very common occurrence, but guess what? It can happen, and that's, well, the least of what you want to have to deal with. So you just start realizing, all right? And the more you ride, the more you sort of click when these moments happen. It doesn't always happen. Like a lot of riding, like this is what I'm doing right now, where you just open and you're on your own. But if you're riding throughout peak hour, you're going to start realizing this very quickly and very fast how much your like learning has happened. Because when you start riding, you're so oblivious to so much, and the more you ride, you start realizing everything. And if you really want to realize just how much you pay attention subconsciously, ride with someone who has just picked up their license, and you will go down the road, and you will notice just how oblivious they are to so much. Because they're already thinking about what they're doing with the controls and everything. They're overthinking everything in that regard. But now, they're also like not paying attention to everything because of that. Whereas you and I, being longer term riders, of course, you look at them and go, what are you doing? You're going to hurt yourself by following this way of doing things. And it's unfortunate, but it's the toll of learning. Everyone's got to go through it once. None of us were all perfect when we started riding, all right? I never had any major issues when I was learning, but still, I wasn't as good as I am now. But it's just one of those things that happens with time, man, and it's quite fun to notice when you start improving, because it's just, it's like anything. When you get better at something, you don't think about it until you see how bad you could have been, and that's when the reality hits, and you go, you know what? You're right. I am doing a lot better than I was. And it's one of those lovely things to look back on and be like, yeah, you're right, I did get better. But it's just one of those things I expect you guys to take notice of, all right? And think about it more so when you're riding. Don't take it for granted, because it's one of those things that it's a skill that you get better and better at, and you're not born with it. But as a biker, you notice things, all right? You just get better. You get hyper aware of cars, where they're moving, what they're doing, who's slamming the brakes on, who's not indicating, who's a problem on the road, and who you shouldn't be around. And it's just, I think personally, one of the best things about riding is because it's such a good skill to learn, because you do get better at the rest, like other things. Even when you're not on a bike, you might notice you start focusing on other things just a bit more. Even in a car, all right? It helps your driving improve a little bit. But that's my opinion. You might not agree with me, and that's fine. If you don't agree, leave a comment down below, and I'll be happy to discuss it with you. But ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have time for. I've still got a little bit of riding to go before I get home. But just think about it when you're riding next, okay? Things change. There's a lot to think about, and you don't even notice it anymore. But yeah, take it easy, keep it cheesy, ride safe, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even see the car in front of me right now. That's how sunny it is. But yes, I'll take myself nice and safely on this ride home. Otherwise, peace, bye!